Andrew Wiggins, everybody had extraordinary expectations for him coming in.
Mm-hmm.
How has the public expectation compared with your personal expectations?
There's certain things that he does that you can't teach, but there's also...
Like what?
Well, just second jump, first step. I mean, he can do some things you can't coach.
Andrew Wiggins has turned this into his personal playground.
I didn't know if he was going to be as good a player is probably what he's shown us to be. I mean, the kid's averaging 16 a game. He'll go down as the highest scoring freshman, should in the history of KU. He's averaging 6 boards a game. He's our best defender. I mean, he's had a heck of a season. But there's no way, Bonnie, he could live up to the hype. I mean, there's no way. There's no way comparisons to LeBron or even the Tracy McGrady's and he should be doing this and doing that. If he averaged less than 20 and 10 this year as a freshman, people say, what's wrong with Wiggins?
Embiid, yes!
You made it pretty clear that Joel Embiid's been a little bit banged up. As a kid who hasn't had a ton of basketball experience, how much do you think that plays into how he handles injuries? It's one thing to be a volleyball player, it's another thing to be a basketball player and go through the grind of a college season.
This kid came to us, and I thought he had a chance to be great. And he thought he was going to redshirt as a freshman because he wasn't good enough. Did you see that as a lack of security, a lack of confidence, or humility? I think it's a combination of both. I think he's a humble kid. There's no question. But at the same time, when you've only played basketball for 2 years, and the first year that you played at your high school, you weren't good enough to get on the court. I can see there being some nervousness about going into a place and believing that you're good enough. But now he knows he's good enough. You lost one of your top recruiters last year in Joe Dooley. He'd been with you for 10 seasons, went and took the Florida Gulf Coast job. So you go out and you get one of the hottest assistants in the country. You bring in Jarrence Howard, who was one of your players at Illinois, but you got to steal him from Larry Brown at SMU, who was the first head coach you worked for. How did that all go down? Not well. Tough. I called Coach and I said, you know, I'm thinking about hiring Jarrence. He said, no, you don't want to do that, Bill. That's not anything you want to do. And so I went and I interviewed other guys and I messed around. I called him about a month later. I said, Coach, I got to come after your guy. I can't find, he's the best. And then he gave his blessing, obviously.
Kansas with its second turnover. Bill self-irate.
If I would try to get into your head and figure out what drives you most crazy, I would guess it's that the defense doesn't play at the level you expect on a year in and year out basis based on your track record on that side of the ball. We're not reckless. We don't play with that reckless energy on the defensive end like we should. So that would be my biggest thing. I can handle turnovers. I can handle you know, wasted possessions, things like that. I can't handle giving up easy baskets. One team that played some really good D on you, and I think very well could be a pretty big storyline throughout the tournament, San Diego State. No, I think they can beat anybody. They're well coached, but the thing that I like most about them, they take pride in making other people play bad. And that's what they did with us.
Carry that over your mouth.
Coming down the stretch, what are your goals for your team?
To me, to win 6 games or to win 4 games and go to the NCAA tournament, there's going to be games in there in which you don't shoot the ball well. There's going to be games in there where there's foul problems. There's going to be games in there where a guy tweaks an ankle and then is effective. To me, what we have to do is prepare have a mindset. We have to make other teams uncomfortable. We have to make other teams play poorly. Because in the NCAA tournament, everybody has that one game.
Let's go.